Most North Carolinians are familiar with our first dynasty, that of basketball. But most North Carolinians are not familiar with our second dynasty. That second legacy is the legacy of the North Carolina High School bricklayers, our future Masons. And that's why we're here today, the Final Four of Masonry.
From Asheville, North Carolina, it's the Final Four of Masonry with your host, Billy Packer. Sponsored by the thousands of men and women in the brick industry and the member manufacturers of the Brick Association of North Carolina. Brick, it's smarter than you think. And by the Carolinas Concrete Masonry Association, McGee Brothers Masonry, Mighty Equipment Company, Bond Tool Company, Prime Equipment Company, and the hundreds of volunteers in the first ever combined regional and state masonry championships in the United States. And now, the Final Four of Masonry with your host, Billy Packer.
I'm here with Harold Lewis, the National Director of U.S. Skilled Olympics. And Harold, I really appreciate you coming to North Carolina today to watch our bricklayers compete. I know they'll be going and vying for your national championship.
I'm very excited to be here also. This is an outstanding event. First time that I know of that a state has brought together all the bricklayers in one event and had a Final Four kind of an activity. Super.
I know you're from Kansas, so we were kidding about the basketball Final Four, but I know a lot of these kids are under some pressure right now to come out the victor.
I tell you what, those basketball players really understand the kind of pressure that these young men are under because they're being viewed by the public and judges in a very critical manner.
Harold, we talk so much about industry getting involved with education. Here we see that great combination at work. How important is that around the United States to get that involvement?
Well, it's absolutely essential in the development of our vocational programs to have a partnership with industry. Industry employs our product, and we say that industry ought to be giving us direction as to what our training program should go. So it's very essential that industry be a partnership to this event.
Well, we appreciate you coming by and seeing these kids work, and we'll look forward to the national championship.
We'll watch the North Carolina winner and see how they do in the national competition.
Earlier in the day, we talked with instructor Louis Suter about what the regional judges would be looking for.
We have over 200 students competing here today, and what we want to do is find the best of the best. What we'll be looking for is, first of all, is level. We want to make sure the project is perfectly level. We want to make sure that it's plumb. We want to make sure that the joints are uniform. We want to make sure that we have the correct design in the wall. We're also going to be looking at the height and spacing of each joint. On the ends of the project here, you're looking at a composite wall. You're looking at block on the interior of the building and brick on the outside of the building. We're looking for plumb block work, plumb brick work, uniform joints, and the like on the inside.
Throughout the morning, each region met for a final briefing by the judging chairman. At the end of this day, only 4 winners from each of the 8 regions would remain.
Your project will begin at 10:30. Now, everybody knows we're going to have 2 hours to do this project in. I don't believe you're going to have any problem with it. You'll do real good. What I'm going to do is go over our rules, and then we're going to hand out the project, what you're going to be doing today, and we'll go from there. Your first course does not count. That's a leveling course. It will not be judged against you. In your bottom right-hand corner, you need to put a nail or a line twig or something on that first course, on top of the first course, because that's where your measuring will be done from that point up. All joints, head, bed, and collar, completely filled with mortar. You have to face all your exposed surfaces, which means you have to strike them with a concave joiner. Brushing will be permitted. All projects will begin 12 inches from the front of the white chalk line back. That will be the front of your face brick. Put your tools up on top of the finished project so the judges can use it, and then you need to leave your area after you finish and got completed.
Just our level or?
You need a level, a rule, and your square. And I think y'all do real good. It's a nice project, you know, and it's good that everybody can come here and compete, all the regions, and it's going to be real. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today. Good luck.
We'll be back with some more from the Final Four of Masonry right after these important messages.
If you think you're getting a real all-brick fireplace, but you're really getting one of these, listen up. Proven for centuries, brick is all natural, made of clay, and it won't warp, burn, or melt. These prefabs, or inserts, are being substituted in some new homes. So before you buy or rent anywhere, ask one simple question. Am I getting a real all-brick fireplace for my money?
The ACC has a long history of developing great athletes who go on to succeed in professional sports. ACC universities are also known for producing success stories in many other areas, such as medicine, engineering, and business, just to name a few. Do you know what all these people have in common? Their road to success began when they learned to read. So remember, stay in school, use your library, and read.
In North Carolina, we're building a memorial for all the North Carolinians and Americans who died or are missing in action in Vietnam. And it's a sign for those who returned that we stand behind them today. Here's how you can help. Your $10 officially sponsors one brick in the memorial and helps fund veterans programs for the next 10 years. Vietnam veterans, it's time to honor them all.
The Final Four of Masonry would like to thank Jimmy Harrell, president of the Carolinas Concrete Masonry Association, for his invaluable assistance to this event. And now we return to the Final Four of Masonry with your host, Billy Packer.
Happy to have with us now Ken Thigpen, who is a consultant with the North Carolina Department of Instruction. And Ken, I know that you people work very closely with VICA on this particular project.
Yes, we do. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction is very pleased to be involved with the VICA program. We have been for many years. Matter of fact, VICA was born in North Carolina, and it's the Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. And our tie-in is that these students who are in masonry education, training and education in North Carolina, both high school and post-secondary, go on to compete in such events that you see here today. Our main purpose is to give students an opportunity to compete, to be recognized, and to give us an opportunity as a state to see how well we're doing as far as our education and training programs.
Well, we know about our dynasty in basketball, but there's been a real dynasty in bricklaying as well for North Carolina students, hasn't there?
Yes, Billy, we're very proud of that. Out of the 21 years that we've been involved at the national level, 17 of those years we've had students who have placed in the top 5.
Well, we thank you for all the hard work you've put in to make this such a successful event.
And we thank you, and to all the supporters of the masonry industry, the Brick Association, the concrete masonry people, and to the mason contractors. We are deeply indebted that they feel that our involvement is important also.
Thank you very much, Ken.
North Carolinians can be especially proud of our high school masonry heritage. With 7 national gold medals and 5 silver medals, North Carolina leads the nation in masonry competition awards. 3 of these national champions have come as recently as 1986, 87, and 1990.
We talk about tradition and dynasty in the state of North Carolina. Well, Blue Devil, move over, because the Brick Masons have got Mason Man. Mason Man, we appreciate you coming by. Well, this is quite an event.
It sure is, and I'm just proud to be here with all these Brick Masons together for the Final Four of Brick Masonry.
Well, how about as we go out before commercial, we listen to the Mason Man's song.
He's a Mason Man and he's got a plan, working with his own kind. He's a Mason Man working with his hands since the beginning of time. Takes a mountain of brick, puts them in the wall. Before you know he's through, he's an honest man working with his hands, and he's got a job to do. don't need a desk or no office mess. He just can't live that way. Keep me in the sun where I have my fun and where I earn my pay. I'm a Mason man, I can point you to 100 jobs I did. Churches and homes and factories, I point them all out to my kids. Yeah, years from now when all the other things have fallen down or blown away, when they rotten and they bend and they curl and they split, I'm standing right here to say, a Mason man can drive right up, proud to this very day, that his work has stood the test of time. That's why the people say he's laid it on the line, laid it on the line, drawing his bead and working the wall, laying it on the line. He's laying it, laying it, laying it, laying it, laying it on the line. Never has to do a job a second time. He's laying it on the line.
And we'll be right back with the Final Four of Masonry right after these important messages.
Mastering the right moves on the court makes the difference between victory and defeat. I encourage my players to work just as hard off the court as they do in practice. Because to be successful in life, you need to master the right moves. So stay in school, use your public library, and read.
I really enjoy a nice Sunday drive. You know, it's just as important for a family car to be well tuned as it is for a race car. Routine maintenance not only lengthens the life of the car, it also improves gas mileage. A tune-up can reduce fuel consumption from 6 to 20%. You don't have to be a great mechanic to save energy. You just need to know one. So tune up, North Carolina.
There's only one way to know if you have a real all-brick fireplace. Brick on the inside, brick on the outside.
Brick. It's smarter than you think. Call 1-800-NC-BRICK.
This is the natural state of brick. It's warm and cozy and it makes you feel good. This is the natural state of a prefab. I'll stick with the brick.
And now we return to the Final Four of Masonry with your host, Billy Packer.
Never before had the entire state come together for regional competition under one roof. By providing this format, the students could meet others from around the state and see the quality of their competition for the Final Four.
At the completion of Thursday's event, the judges began evaluating the projects.
On Thursday evening, over 300 contestants, instructors, and friends enjoyed a barbecue dinner courtesy of the North Carolina Masons instructors. Excitement and tension were in the air as the 32 finalists for the Final Four to be held the next morning were announced.
We're delighted to see each and every one of you here tonight. This is the award ceremonies for the regional winners in the Final Four Masonry. Now, I don't know whether you people realize it or not, but today you have been a part of history. This is the first of this type contest, to my knowledge, held anywhere in this country. And I'd like to know what you think about it. Did you like it? Would you like to do it again? You may be interested to know, you that competed today, you had a part in a contest larger, probably about 4 times larger than any national contest that VICA has ever presented. And about 32 of you are going to be real busy again tomorrow. We're going to ask the instructor, if he will, to present the trophy, whether it be the 4th third, second, or first place trophy and medallion, we'd like to have the instructor make that presentation.
One by one, the finalists were announced, representing high school masonry programs from one end of the state to the other. These young men, through hard work and dedication to their chosen craft and under the skilled guidance of their instructors, would now face the biggest challenge of their young masonry careers. As one of the Elite 32, they would compete the next morning for the title of state champion in the Final Four of Masonry.
If you think you're getting a real all-brick fireplace, but you're really getting one of these, listen up. Proven for centuries, brick is all natural, made of clay, and it won't warp, burn, or melt. These prefabs, or inserts, are being substituted in some new homes. So before you buy or rent anywhere, ask one simple question. Am I getting a real all-brick fireplace for my money?
MC Hammer, rap star and Pepsi drinker. Well, today, we secretly replaced his Pepsi with Coke. Let's see what happens.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings.
Hammer!
Proper.
I wouldn't have anything but a real all-brick fireplace in my home. Would you?
Brick. It's smarter than you think.
I'm here with Jack Glass, and Jack, take us through this Final Four of bricklaying.
All right, Billy. Today we have reached a point where 180 contestants from 8 educational regions yesterday were reduced, 4 from each educational district, to give us 32 for the state finals to reach the Final Four. That's the group that we see before us out here today. From this group, our judges will select the state champion today, and this champion will go to Louisville, Kentucky in June to represent North Carolina at the VICA United States Skill Olympics, where he will hope to become the national champion.
The final round involved a more difficult masonry project which required the contestant to demonstrate even more advanced skills than were necessary during the regional rounds. Due to the complex nature of the project and the seriousness of the competition, an extra hour was allowed for its completion. Following the construction of the project, each contestant was required to take a written examination designed to test their knowledge of the principles of masonry construction. This exacting schedule was developed to ensure the very best candidate would emerge as state champion and would be able to carry on the tradition of excellence North Carolina has brought to the United States Skill Olympics.
I'm here now with Harris Gupton, who's the president of the North Carolina Home Builders Association. And Harris, you're getting an opportunity to see an awful lot of quality young people, and I know they're important to your industry in regard to the future.
Billy, it is exciting. As the builders in North Carolina, we're becoming more and more concerned about the availability of craftsmen in the future, and to see these young kids and the quality of workmanship is tremendously exciting.
We appreciate you taking the time to come by and help these young people improve their trade and move on to very worthwhile occupations as time goes by.
Well, the Home Builders Association are very supportive of the program, and we look to see more of it, even from other aspects of the building trades as we go into the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
We'll be back with some more from the Final Four of Masonry right after these important messages.
When people try to talk you out of a real all-brick fireplace, remember one thing. Those people don't have to live with the alternative. This is the natural state of brick. It's warm and cozy, and it makes you feel good. This is the natural state of a prefab. I'll stick with the brick.
Heard what's happening? McDonald's prices.
An original hamburger's just 59 cents, a cheeseburger just 69 cents, and a sausage biscuit 79 cents. This is not a promotion. This is McDonald's today and from now on.
It's just a matter of time.
Randy Travis speaks out for country conservation.
More than half our country's wetlands are gone, and the rest is disappearing fast. Our wetlands are a precious natural resource we can't afford to lose. So join me and other country stars for country conservation. Write Country Conservation, Department A, Washington, D.C. 20240.
It's just a matter of time.
And now, the conclusion of the Final Four of Masonry with your host, Billy Packer.
Well, as you can see, with a group like this, Dean Smith would have a heart attack, but we're going to have some fun here now. I know most of the fellas have got their work completed. Mike, I want to ask you specifically, what are some of the things you'll be judging today?
What we're looking for here is quality and plumb, level, straight, squareness, just looking to see the quality that these guys are doing.
You know, there was an awful lot of pressure for these young kids because they were given the plan, had about 5 minutes to put the plan together, and then, of course, they have to work within a time frame. Danny, in regard to the time frame here, is consideration given to the amount of time it takes to do the work?
All these young men have a lot of time to finish their projects, and most of them did it ahead of schedule. And so you're talking about performance here, which means meeting schedules and at the same time doing quality work, and I think these kids have done that.
It all comes down to a bottom line, fellas. If these fellas can do quality work within a given framework of time, profit to somebody, and I know they've worked hard, so go on out and take a look, and let's come up with a winner. I'm here with Dean Spangler, who is the general manager of Boren Brick, and Dean, the kids have done a tremendous job here today. They're ready to start the judging.
Well, you know, Billy, without brick masons to get brick in the wall, we really don't have a business. So it's been incumbent on the Brick Association of North Carolina to get involved in the process, to help the masonry instructors out in the field make sure that they have what they need in the classroom. We can't just sit back and say, hey, we need more people. We've got to get involved and be proactive and make those things happen.
Well, we're all very appreciative of your help today, and best of luck in the future on the project.
Thanks, Billy. We sure appreciate your being here to help us.
On Saturday, the Final Four winners were honored. The 3 runners-up were announced, and then the announcement was made for the 1991 Final Four of Masonry, the North Carolina State Masonry champion, Heath Cade. This champion goes on to national competition in Louisville, Kentucky in June to represent our state. We wish him all the best, and thank you for joining us on the Final Four of Masonry.
The sponsors of the Final Four of Masonry would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all 32 of the finalists. By virtue of their successful completion of the regional rounds, they have demonstrated a proficiency and skill level of which they can be proud. We invite you to support your local high school masonry program and remind you that many of these programs build lasting and beautiful masonry projects in communities across the state. If you or someone you know would like to find out more about the high school masonry program in your area, call your local high school guidance counselor or masonry instructor. This is your announcer, Ed Dyer, thanking you for joining us for the Final Four of Masonry. This has been a presentation of the Brick Association of North Carolina.
This is the natural state of brick. It's warm and cozy, and it makes you feel good. This is the natural state of a prefab. I'll stick with the brick. Demanding a real all-brick fireplace is like putting money in the bank. Why settle for less?
Brick. It's smarter than you think.
Practice is the key to success in the ACC. We spend hours each week drilling the basics and sharpening our skills. But before we hit the court, we hit the books. So remember, stay in school, use your public library, and read.
In North Carolina, we're building a memorial for all the North Carolinians and Americans who died or are missing in action in Vietnam. And it's a sign for those who returned that we stand behind them today. Here's how you can help. Your $10 officially sponsors one brick in the memorial and helps fund veterans programs for the next 10 years. Vietnam veterans, it's time to honor them all.